Yes. All right, man. What's up? My name's Gerald Peters, and I believe that anybody, regardless of age or race or current financial situation, pretty much anything that stands in your way, that anybody in about 7 to 10 years can build the foundation. Error, YouTube is not receiving enough video margin to maintain smooth streaming. That sucks. Let's check speed here. Hopefully that's not true. You can hear me. Everything all right on YouTube? So, hopefully so. No, it looks frozen, huh? No, I'm a roll. I think anybody, regardless of age, race, or financial situation, in about 7-year period, can either get wealthy. I mean, build whatever your definition of that word is, wealthy and rich. There's only 3 ways, man. And so my goal is to try to just keep shit simple. And one thing I do know is on purpose and it's on point. In my new ebook, it's more about mindset, but there's a little module in there. And I think you should get this. I'm proud of it. I like it. It's all about mindset, and that's crucial. It's not everything. You can be in a bad mood and make money. You can be in a bad mood and get up and go to work. But over time, how you think about things and your philosophy will dictate your outcome. You become the shit you think about over time. It's not like magic. You think good today, everything changes, or if you think bad, everything goes bad. It's not a superstition. It's not if you step on a crack, something happens to your mom. It's not like that. It's just a flow of the universe, man. Money flow. And what you put your mind on. And I wrote in here, success is always organized. Right here is a stock chart, okay? These are what we call bars, B-A-R-S, not bars where you drink beer. Although I look at a lot of stock charts in bars. Whenever I'm in New Orleans, I close out the stock market the last 30 minutes at a place called Bourbon Heat. And they have a 3-man band that just jams rock songs. And I go have a beer and I look at these charts. And this has been part of my life now for 21 years. Every day I look at about 100 to 200 stocks. Some stocks I don't need to look at. Meaning if I glance at Exxon, I understand how sectors work. And there's 12 sectors of the S&P 500. There used to be 11, now there's 12. Inside of these sectors are subsectors. And inside of the subsectors are little, like you might call niches. And you go, what do you mean? Like restaurants. And you go, what kind of restaurant? Fast food. And then you're like, oh, you mean like McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Starbucks. Yeah, you know the kind of shit I'm talking about. What's the difference between that and Cheesecake Factory? You got a niche within a niche. You got fast food, then you got sit-down restaurant, and then you got what? There's not many publicly traded 5-star restaurants. Why? Because it doesn't work. It's not big enough. When we get into telecom, what? We got T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon. They're almost trading in lockstep. What tracking stocks allows us to do is to notice when they're not in lockstep and be able to execute and make a move based on some logic. And so as we sit back and look at life, there's only 3 ways to get rich, man. 1, own a business. And you go, well, I don't have a business. Okay. Invest in other people's businesses right here. The easiest way to do that is the stock market. This right here is the XLU. It's an ETF. If you're in the money flow gang, I put out homework. So I'm going to DM you. I'm going to target my friends, all the guys that talk to me all the time. We'll see what's up. So when I ask you the difference between an ETF and an ETN, I'm hoping you're going to be able to explain it, and you better not be some copy and paste bullshit. And you better do it quickly. So when I DM you and ask you for your homework, don't be like, hold on, copy, paste, Investopedia, shit. If you can do that, do it right now. Go look. What is the point of the homework? You got homework, man. You're a grown man. You need to know this shit. You've been on Earth too long to not know the difference between an ETN and an ETF. How do triple leveraged ETNs work? And what's the difference between that and an ETF? Okay? We need to know that. Why? It could make you rich. So this here went from $64. And what if I could show you a way to know if this was the bottom or not? And I don't mean exactly. I mean pretty damn close. Meaning a lot of things in life are not exact, okay? Success is always organized chaos. The world and the universe are perfectly balanced. The planets never collide with each other. The roots of the trees are just, seems like shit just works out. I need a job, they hired me. The things you have asked for, you have received. What if you took that same concept to this? And what if I could show you a way to spot tops and bottoms? How could that affect your investing over 7 to 10 years? What if instead of fearing the stock market, you took advantage of that shit? Instead of worrying about where this and that, you banged it. Meaning you begin to allocate money. Smart, man. Consistently, the same way, all the time. Completely ignoring everyone around you. You know what happens? Look at this. This is one account. And I'm not even aggressive on this. I'm going to be honest, dude. Because I invest a lot of money in real estate. So for me, a lot of times, what I'm trying to get in here, this here you see, this 13,300. Look at this. Where are we at? All right, see what it says there? So the last time that I updated the newsletter, this account right here, SEP IRA, made cash flow $12,833 a month. All right, well, I've been on this for the last couple months. Now where are we at? So $12,833. 13,300. And it's these right here. You see them going down the clip. Look at this. Right? So these things throw off money. And as I track these right here consistently, every day, like I don't miss days, man. Every day. So I'm looking at this. And all I'm doing when it comes to this right here, the XLU utility stocks, these pay fat, juicy dividends. All I give a shit about is these that move down. Big moves. And what I'm trying to do is pinpoint the very bottom. So here's what I've figured out. In life, there's a thing called bipolar nature, man. There's up and there's down. There's love and there's hate. There's opposites, man, day and night. You'll see it, man. Just keep looking. You'll be like, damn, the pendulum swings from one extreme to the other. You know, it's either too damn hot, too damn cold. It's raining too much, not raining enough. You ever notice that? It's always something to think. These are the worst storms we've ever seen. Okay? That means there was a time when there wasn't one. And it just swings back and forth from one extreme to another. Well, guess what? That's all of life and all of the universe. And this is recorded history, man. Stock charts are fucking magical. What you have in front of you, you are so blessed as a human being to even have in your hand, man. Someone has recorded time. So when you got up and were doing something else, not paying attention, this thing opened at 8:30 every day. So one of the things that the stock market requires, if you want to master this shit, if you want to, and I mean master, like, guys, you don't get to where, look, in a short period of time. Now, is this a ton of money? No, but here's the thing. I don't need it because it's not part of my budget. You get what I'm saying? So when this was $1, actually, it started at $12. Now, that's just one account, man. So if I go look, it's like 25,000. That's not a fortune, but here's what happens. When you get 25 grand a year you don't need, you have abundance. And out of abundance, what happens if you're investing that and another 20? That's 500. That number begins to grow exponentially, especially when you hit like 45, 50. So now my wealth is growing exponentially faster than I can make money. Meaning just owning this shit is worth more than I can make working. What happens when you do that for a decade? So Warren Buffett was a billionaire at 50 years old. Now in his 90s, he's worth like 128 billion, 128x. It's grown exponentially. He does the same thing every Sunday. He does the same thing every Monday, every Tuesday. He watches and he has some trigger, something that lets him know, that turns chaos, order out of this chaos. So when a guy comes into the market and you see this thing here, look, starts to go sideways. And if you roll with me, we call that a box. Man, keep it simple. You could call it a zone of consolidation. You could call it, I've seen people call it the craziest shit. That's a upward triangle. That's whatever, man. Whatever. It went up, it stopped, it put in an anchor point, and it went sideways. That's what it did. Okay, whatever you want to call it, that's what it did. And I began to draw boxes. And what I noticed is boxes form tops and bottoms. And this price movement moves in stages. So as I began to study the market, one thing I knew is the market would move in stages. Now, how you handled the stage or what the stage meant to you is up to you, man. I don't know where you're going, man. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know how much money you're working with. I don't know where your mind's at. You might need therapy. You might need to get your shit together first. Meaning you can't track a checking account. You're going to step up into the stock market with the smartest people in the world. The smartest financial people in the world wake up every day to get rich. And then there's everyone else. So if you want to join this illustrious crowd of multimillionaires, you better get your shit together. Yeah, I mean, like everything, the way you spend money, how you understand insurance, where you live, who you hang out with. Get your shit together. Because they're not going to give you this if you're all fucked up and disturbed at home. They're not going to give you this if you can't manage your own business. They're not going to give you this if you're still trying to figure out how to get up on time or be somewhere or how to keep your word. If you're still trying to figure out how to have integrity or be a solid person or how to be a fucking dad, you're going to have a hard time understanding the stock market because the consistency it requires is super fucking human. And this is why people blow out, because they half-ass approach it. It doesn't care about your problems. It doesn't care about what time you got to be at work. It doesn't give a shit about any of that. This is recorded history that runs every day. And guess what? It moves. It moves in a pattern, and you'll see it. Now, how you handle this pattern is up to you. And also, with inside of this pattern is this idea of the cosmic roll of the dice. Bad shit happens. See, in the stock market, we're so aware of it that we have a term for it. It's called Black Swan event. Guess what? That'll happen in your life. And you got to decide when that Black Swan happens, do you take your eyes off of this? And the moment that fucking happens, guess what? You're probably not going to make this work for you because you're going to blow out. You're going to have to start over from zero. Rule number one, Warren Buffett said, don't lose money. Don't lose money. He doesn't mean your account balance going up and down, man. That's the minnow mind. The minnow mind somehow thinks that you're going to have bear markets and bull markets, and there's all this, and there's things called crashes, and there's uptrends and downtrends, and it's all right there. It's not a fucking secret. And it somehow, when what has happened repeatedly over and over and over and over in the past, it confuses them. And they get shook out instead of taken advantage of. And so understanding the money flow is about making order out of chaos. And it's a systematic way to approach. And people say, we can't pick the bottom. I can. Success is always organized chaos. The world and the universe are perfectly balanced. The planets never collide with each other. The roots of the trees are always just long enough to stabilize the trunk. The sun never gets too close to the earth. Rivers and streams always lead into lakes or the sea. Fact is, nature has a very crafty system. It is a system that eliminates the weak from gaining too much power and authority. Oh, wait, you made $1 million in crypto? Maybe you don't deserve it. Purge him. Meaning what? He wasn't smart enough to allocate that money? You're going to have everything in one thing? You get purged. So when the Black Swan comes, you're purged, man. Lessons of history. God damn, why is my thing not? Lessons of history. So if I got all my money in one thing, Black Swan, I'm out. You need to know the difference between an ETF and an ETN if you're a friend of mine. Do not let Monday arrive and you don't know the difference between that. You must know. The fact is, nature has a very crafty system. It's a system that eliminates the weak from gaining too much power and authority. To protect itself, nature purges itself of anything it can't handle the pressure, people included. Nature does this to make sure the strong will be around to assist her in keeping everything in order. Like causes produce like results. It's nature's predictive model. Nature teaches us that repetition is the mother of skill. Don't quit, keep going. Yesterday, there's a house in my neighborhood, if you follow me on Instagram, that I've been posting. Man, all I do is drop how to be rich on Instagram. That's all it is. Little gems. And now rich is, I don't know what your definition is. I mean, I think if you had $1 million in dividend stocks, you'd feel pretty rich. Now, you're not going to be balling out, but you don't have to worry about paying rent or a mortgage or a car payment or buying food or health insurance. Like, all that shit is covered. Now you get to operate in the zone of abundance. See, what stuff like what investing can do for people in a short order or period of time, and I don't know what else to call it. I call it, entrepreneurial investing, meaning it's not normal shit. I'm going to post later today on Instagram information that just came out by Vanguard, and I need you to sit and look. If you're 25 years old and listen to me, I need you to sit and look at it, okay? Because this is most important to you. Because the elements of all of this, there's only 3 ways to get rich. One is own a business. Most of us aren't going to do that. I don't even really own a business. I'm a solopreneur, okay? I don't have employees. If Gerald drops dead, it stops making money, okay? Not true. Some things would continue, but someone's going to manage it, right? But it's not a traditional business. I did business. I put all the money in investments. Now I do investments, okay? Investing is different. It's not a business and it's not a job. And sometimes you can't use the fucking money. And sometimes it costs money to have investments. Meaning it costs you money to own investments. If no one pays you rent, you still owe on the property. You still pay an exterminator. You still pay this tax cost money to have assets, which means you have to become a steward. You must get that in your mind. And when you die, other people get them. You're just carrying them while you're here. You're just holding them while you're here. And it's up to you what to do with them. The more money that you can get out of your job or out of investments or out of a business and into shit like this is the XLU. Pays about a 3.5-4% dividend. I can show you how to up that though. And you up that by, instead of following the ETF. Now with an ETF, you pay a management fee. And guess what? You can tell what that is. Go to E-Trade, log in, click on fees. It'll say for every $10,000, you'll pay us $123. And you're like, whoa. Well, how much is 123? What percent is 123 of $10,000? And you go, well, not much. Like 0.5%. Okay. Now what if instead of owning the ETF, we own the 3 top stocks in this ETF? We don't pay any management fee. Oh, and by the way, because we don't own the other ones, our dividend can go up. And if we put a little effort into that, and maybe we built out our own ETF, and when they come down and Duke pays a solid dividend, and the dividend yield goes from 4.5 to maybe 5, it starts touching 5 because we know the lower a stock goes that pays a dividend, the higher the dividend yield on new money invested. You're saying, wait, what are you saying? I can raise my income with money. I can come to this right here, which is what I did. Oh, man, they logged me out. Mother mofos, man. Come on, man. So this right here, where it says 13,300, just the other day said 1288. 1288. You're like, what do you mean? 1288. Or 12,833, excuse me. These stocks total paid me $12,833. That's just this account, okay? And what it is paying now is $13,300. So what is that? That's $500 a year more. Well, how much? That's about $40 a month. Seems kind of small, but as you begin to multiply that, the number gets bigger. Now, remember what I said? So they say in Vanguard, the average person aged 20 to 20 or 30 saves approximately, this is average. There's an average and there's a median. You know what the difference is, right? You got to know this Because if I said to you the average house costs this much, okay, what's the difference between that and the median home price? Right? One number accounts for outliers. Rich mother, don't cuss, Gerald. The rich dude down the street, little ball, he's got a $1.8 million ranch down the street from your trailer. Well, they're going to look on that street. In Texas, you have ballers living next door to trailers. And you're like, what do you mean? Meaning they go out and they build a fucking castle in a horrible neighborhood. They do that in Texas. And, well, not horrible. I shouldn't say that. It's just poor and in the country. And then guess what? They go in there and go, wow, we got to raise the taxes. And guess what? All the poor people living on that street, their taxes just went up because old baller moved in and built a castle. That's how they tax, by the way. I don't know if you know that. It's a rigged fucking system. So if the rich move into your town, government goes, good. Raise taxes on everybody around them. Why? Because wherever rich people go, prosperity goes. I don't know if you know this. Because when a rich dude moves in and buys and builds a castle, guess what he needs? DoorDash. He ain't going to the store. What else he need? A driver, maybe. Like, I'm not doing. Guess what else he needs? He's going to have a party. All of a sudden, money just starts pouring in. Why? Because they bring money with them. Well, guess what? They tend to bring their friends. And next thing you know, government's making a shit ton more money off this area. It was filled with poor people, called gentrification. That happens everywhere. You better understand it because it's part of real estate investing. What if you could get ahead of it? I just blew your mind. If you could get ahead of that in Tennessee, you're rich, man. 2 or 3 properties. 2 or 3 transactions, man. Money flow, 2 or 3 transactions in 3 to 5 years. I've seen people go to $400,000, $600,000, $800,000 net worth. Simple switch, man. All they did was they stopped buying cars, using credit cards, taking out loans, making stupid ass decisions. They didn't do a 3 to 5 year period of dumb shit. They stopped doing that. They eliminate that. And now they do a 3 to 5 year period of actually smart shit consistently. And that grows exponentially. What most people have working against them is time is working against you. You pay more in interest than you collect. You pay more out than you collect in dividends. That you got to reverse that number. So everyone has to get on the other side of the cash register, right? And well, we just got way deep on that, but that's what this is about, man. That's what stocks are about. So this is a daily chart. Couple things in the money flow. Let's not save that. You're like, man, how do you make sense of that? It goes down, it goes up. Well, we track time. There are 20 days in the stock market. Oh, man. If you only know what a guy can do in like 3 years, when you just reverse some bad decisions into good decisions and then lay on that. So Vanguard said at age 20 to 30, the average person is saving 6% of their income. It's fucking ridiculous. It's gross. And you should see it as gross so you'll stop doing it and not make excuses. A lot of times when I ask people about that and they're like, oh, but baby, shh. You can't fix it making excuses for it, bro. Stop. It's like saying, well, you don't understand why I drink because, hey, you're not going to stop it by talking like that. So stop. Don't make excuses for it. Be pissed off about it. Doesn't mean you can fix it today, but it changes your mind. And the first way you fix it is having a different vision, seeing shit different. You don't grow into that. You start with that thought and then you grow into your thought. So if we keep making excuses for that bullshit, then this is what I was saying before. Don't take free money, man. Don't take it. Takes all the hustle out of you. Makes you soft, fat, slow. You got someone paying you. Man, you need to get that because you fucking went out and got it, hunted, killed, and got it for you. Okay? So I'm not saying you stop doing it today, but I'm saying from you start to change your mindset on that. That's the only way you break that shit, man. And you don't go, oh, but there's poor shh. Stop. Don't even lump yourself with it, man. Don't lump yourself with it, man. We got radical shit to do. Getting rich ain't easy, man. You got to start thinking different. So what I found on this pattern here is that price, like life, moved in patterns. And like life, what's scary today won't be scary tomorrow. Oh, one thing, he's going to launch a nuclear weapon. North Korea, right? Now it's Russia. Fuck, but I remember when it was It was Russia when I was a kid in the 80s, and then we went to Arabs. Wait, the whole fucking planet's going to be killed by Arab people. We got to go fight them. Then, wait, no, it's Chinese. No, we're back to the Russians again. So it's always some kind of bringing the world to an end. There's always a whole crowd of people telling you the world's going to collapse. And in the meantime, this is what it does. It goes sideways, it goes up, it goes sideways, it goes down, it goes sideways. And I'm going to show you that on a chart to prove it. Man, what I was just talking to you about, I call the abyss of money. What happens with the wealthy who have more than they need is their mantra is, I'm rich and I have more than I need. Is in their mind from sunup to sundown. They want their natural state to be abundance. Okay, now look, I don't need this here. I don't need this. Matter of fact, don't even send it to me. Just reinvest that shit, okay? So when I first started investing, I wasn't investing nowhere near that, guys. It took a while before I was putting 13 grand a year into investments. So let me ask you, how much do you think you put in 13? I meet people all the time put in 30, 40, 50,000 in a single year. And you're like, oh, that's not possible. Bullshit. Man, I got a friend that went from 40,000 that into this bear market pullback, he's now at 447,000. And all he can think about is if I get more of these shares lower on the next run up, on the next 30%er, on the next bull market, dude, I'm going to be pushing 700, 750. That's what he's thinking. He's thinking 700, 750. And I'm like, bro, if it stays down long enough, you could be looking at 1 million. And I'm like, maybe you're thinking too small. Okay? Maybe you're thinking too small. Let's see. What is this? Interesting. Okay, so there we are. That's on the one there. One of the biggest stocks inside of that account is SO. See it ripping. So what I look for in SO, and this is not trading in the typical sense, is I'm watching this pattern. And I know that the market moves in cycles and that the market moves Monday through Friday, 5 days. Does it again. It's 10 days. You'll see later, I'll put moving averages for those. That's what these lines are. And the green line is 1 month of stock market time. A month, 20 days, okay? And it's very simple. It takes the average price today, the close, adds it to yesterday, and it has a string of variable of 20 of those, and that's tracking the stock market. Now, that's fractal nature of the market. You can break it up in pieces and parts. That's pieces and parts, okay? So 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Right here to right here. Now the average has moved up here. So the moment we know that price is printing above that green line, once it's printing above that green line, we know, or for me to keep life simple, we know that the money flow is just trying to organize chaos, put chaos into order. So the way I do that is simple definitions. When price is moving above this green line, it's in a stage 2 advance. And so I assume it's just going to keep going higher. I don't want to buy that. I want to be done buying as an investor. Next thing I'm looking toward, maybe after it runs for a minute, maybe my position size is so big, maybe I could trim a little and put it into something else. Now, if you're playing that game inside of dividends, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't do it that aggressive, but I do it. I'll trim things. I tend to do it around value. And that's a whole nother class. How do you value a stock? You don't have to make it as complicated. You don't have to be Warren fucking Buffett. If you have thumbs and you can type it into a search bar, you can get a basic fundamental value of a stock. Just like a house on Zillow. They've commoditized this. There's algorithms that can look at the publicly stated books and have a basic mathematical formula they would teach you in college of how to do cash flow analysis. And they goes and scans it. And they can give you algorithmic. Now, is that perfect? No, but it puts you in the ballpark, okay? Puts you in the ballpark. And here we see this stock sold off. And now I know that how stocks move. And once I can spot this pattern of price movement, you'll see it, where it looks like stocks kind of go sideways. Now look here. The moving average literally went sideways, right? And then there's a point where it broke it. And then what do you see? Price moved up, right? And I'm just doing basic line drawing here. Just connecting tops and bottoms. And then price went sideways, right? And you see it here. Now, this is not perfect science. You know, so if we put it right around the bottom, what's important about this, and I'm jumping ahead if you're new, it may confuse you. This wick isn't what's important. It's where did it close? And you see that dot to the right there on Instagram? That's where it closed. That's what's important to me, is where it closed. Okay? Because it closed back in what we call the box. And a box is simply a stage. God damn, sorry. Using the wrong fucking... Hold up. It's hard to do shit on two different things at the same time. So I'm trying to catch these boxes, stage 1, stage 2. And I know which box we're on based on where we were. So that green line lays over this. So it kind of just helps me visually see it faster, right? And so what I'm constantly trying to do is draw this out. And so I own a basket of assets that pay me money. I mean, where do I want to buy them? I want to buy them down here, man. Right? I want to buy them after they pull back. And I need a way of telling me, hey, maybe this is the bottom and maybe this is the bottom. And yet the price is different over time. And if you look at this chart and if you drew from the lowest low to the lowest low, I mean, there's periods of time where it pulls way back into here, right? Look. And then what? It's all the way back up, man. It's all the way back here. So if you're looking at this and you're like, man, this is crazy. And it has been. It's going up, but then it's periodically slamming down, right? And then it goes up and then it slams down. And that's the nature of what you're seeing on here. So what I try to do is catch it going through a pattern. And I can catch every bottom. I don't know what people are saying you can't catch bottoms. I think what they mean is the bottom at the right time. That was the only one you moved on. Okay, I'm not saying that. But I am saying that the market moves in stages. And I am saying that wherever price has been before, it tends to stop. It gets stuck. That doesn't mean it won't keep going. It just means it stops there. And so if we know that fractal nature of price, we can use that inside of our short-term trading, right? You're like, what do you mean? Okay, well, you got a stage 3 box here. And then price started to sell off, right? And then it stopped. And we know that because it became the lowest low and it started to go sideways. So we didn't get the full nice stage 4 decline swing. No, because it's not perfect, man. It's chaos. So that stage 4 stopped, turned into a 1. What happens with the wealthy who have more than they need is that their mantra of I'm rich and I have more than I need is in their minds from sun up to sundown. They want their natural state to be abundance. Therefore, the abyss of money isn't about getting rich or making $1 million. It's simply about finding a way to have more than you need, which then, by osmosis, will perpetrate more life, abundance, and prosperity. And then that feeling becomes an addiction. You see, the trick to money is money, meaning money you don't need. So if your monthly bills are $4,000, the new goal's $5,000. If it takes you 6 to survive, the new goal's 7. After you accomplish that, you have proven affirmation, a symbol, if you will, that will, in fact, draw more money towards you. The more money you have, the more you'll receive. And so, put in a little more. Now we're at 13. So over the next 12 months, they're going to put 13,360 cents in chips. Here's the thing. That's not even compounded, man. Meaning that's going to be added. They're just telling you the number. There's going to be 4 payments, this the total. But these payments are going in compounded. Now, what if they get to a certain size? Maybe I let them go to cash, and I'm waiting on this. So I'm distributing funds based on stage ones when valuable assets are on sale, right? And I don't want to sell the thing. I want to accumulate it when it's cheap, man, so that I can raise my dividend in every stock, right? And then maybe if it runs up and gets extreme, you're like, well, how could I know? Well, watch this. Come on, man. There's an indicator we call the RSI. Oh, hold on. Now, if you're confused on charts, get my chart class. We sit there and me and you go through this, okay? It's ridiculous that some people don't know this, and that's $49. It's fucking stupid, to be honest. So when I meet people that don't own it, that's what I think. You're kind of dumb. Because it's so valuable for so little. Now this is most people I meet. So I stop in at this. There's a house in my neighborhood. It basically turned into a crack house, to be honest, is what happened. The guy was a meth head. I watched his life evolve over a period of like 6-7 years. He just it just went to shit, if you've ever seen such a thing. And he outbid me on the property. I tried to buy this house in my neighborhood. I own 3 houses in my own neighborhood. Why? They went up for sale. Like, it ain't complicated. I'm trying to buy shit. So the house went up for sale. I knew I could put renters in it. It's right around the corner. I make $1 million every 30 years on a house, okay? So I buy them. So when it came up for sale in my neighborhood, I'm like, we're buying that. I got outbid. That house is easily worth 200 and something thousand now. I bid 105 at the time. The guy that outbid me bid 112. So over $7,000. I lost out on $100,000 in appreciation, man. Not counting all the rent it would have been. And I wouldn't even have paid $105. I was only putting down 20%. Would have been $22,000. And then 7 years later, it's rented. The house has gone to $200,000. It's cash flow. It's fucking no-brainer, man. You can do this in almost any neighborhood in your area. Well, another young couple, looked like me in my 30s, fixed it, doing the same shit, got a dumpster out there, bringing out all the crap, putting it in, spending their nights and weekends. They're not over there during the day because they're at work. They're over there at night and on weekends. Saw them yesterday, all day, in the heat, no air conditioning, little kids running around out front. That's what my family did. Go play out front. Leave me alone. And so they had 2 kids over there. And I get people all the time, well, I got kids. Take them with you. And then your wife can help. And that's what we did, man. And that's what these people do. They're doing. And long story short, I go in and talk to them yesterday. They're not doing that, man. They got a good deal on this. It was off market. I figured it was. They paid $150 for a $200,000 house. They gutted it. They're putting it back together. They're doing it themselves. I was like, man, I wouldn't live here. They were like, what? Fucking rent this. Man, you're going to cash flow big time. You just increased your income huge, man. You just got like a $7,000 a year raise plus the increase plus the loan paid. I mean, this is a no-brainer, man. And the lady looked at me and goes, I would not be a landlord. Okay, then be broke. I don't know what to tell you. That was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard, man. And I just looked at her husband like, wow, you married a smart one. So that's not what they're thinking. Now, what happens when they make that roll there and they go do what they go do what they just did 3 times? Now he's got money for what? This, man. Now he's got money coming in. He doesn't need it. All of a sudden he starts putting it in this. And you play that game out 7-10 years, it's a lot of money, man. Simple as switch. Where over a period of time you're on it, you're focused. And you invest as an entrepreneur, not as a home gamer. So the average person, this is why I hate retirement, man. Hate retirement account. Everybody that's saving for retirement is fucking broke. So the average person, the average amount in a retirement account for people under 26 was like $1,100. I mean, it's like, okay. When you get into the 30s, it got up into like $20,000. I don't even know what they're doing. Okay. They're not investing as an entrepreneur. Like the goal isn't like, hey, I'm trying to get as rich as possible, as fast as possible. That's not that game. Now, does this game work? Absolutely, because over time, that's how a house makes you $1 million in 30 years. Why? Because the house actually is there. And you're like, what do you mean? It goes up 5% a year. Well, put a $200,000 house at 5% a year for 30 years. The number is like $820,000. And you're like, well, that can't be. Yes. Go back and look. 70 years ago, fucking house was 12 grand. Today, the medium home is 420 or whatever it is. Yes, that's how the math works. And you used to buy lake houses for $3,000 on lakes and shit, and $5,000. I remember when I had my last grandfather in our family passed. He had a lake house for $4 grand, and today it was like $450. Yes, that's what happens over time. And you always feel like, man, it can't go high. Yes, the Dow will be 1 million one day. Not that long out either, by the way. Dow's 30,000. If it doubles, it's 60. What if it doubles 120 and then doubles is 240? Not that far out, man. Not that far out. It's going to keep doing that. The numbers get bigger and bigger exponentially. Matter of fact, to the point where some stocks, because their growth rate is so high, like Amazon, Google, Tesla, they have to reverse split it because the number gets so fucking big, people can't even comprehend it. And they stop being involved because they're like, well, it can't double again. Yeah, it can. It's called magic. You know how it doubles again? They got to take the minnow minds and reconvince them. And you're like, what do you mean? Oh, no, here's how you do the minnow mind. It's easy. You just change the price. And a guy that didn't want Tesla at 750, oh, he wants it at 150. Oh, it's called the minnow mind. You just trick them. And you go, what do you mean? Right here in my new ebook, Money's Just One Big Social Agreement. This is a trading book, by the way, guys. I don't care how you trade. If you don't read this book, you don't trade very well. Money and all money is simply a social agreement. To whom and which side of the register you agree will dictate where and how you work. It will also determine how much you'll be allowed to earn and how quickly you gain financial freedom. I went into that young couple and I said, bro, I'd walk right out of here and I would rent this fucking property. And I go, what do you do for a living? He goes, I'm a welder. And you're doing all this work yourself. I was like, you could get rich, man. He's like, I don't want to lock with rent. It's like, okay. They've already decided. They're a welder and she's a stay-at-home mom. Okay. Somewhere along the way, they didn't give themselves permission to do that and be rich. I'm like, you can be rich as a welder. They both just looked at me with stupid looks on their face. Duh. They can't see it, man. They do what they just did there 3 more times and put the gains in here. Their family's worth 500 grand in like 5 years. Easy. You buy a house a year, you get to year 5, you're going to be shocked because you're going to get a deal. One's going to take off. The others are paying you rent. The loans have been paid down and the houses have gone up times 5. You'll be shocked, dude. You know what happens at 10 years when you have 10? Yes, that's how old GP mowing yards didn't ever go to college or nothing, got rich, man. It's just owning shit tons of assets and not selling them. And guess what happens 7 to 10 years into that little money social agreement? And what I figured out, the prices change all the time. They go up, they go down. I don't want less, I want more. So if beach condos come down on interest rates, okay, I don't give a fuck if, oh, but I paid $312 and now it's $285. Don't care. I'm buying one at $285 too. You get what I'm saying? And so as I approach that, and I know that money is just a social agreement. All money is simply a social agreement to whom and which side of the register you agree. It will also determine how much you are allowed to earn, how quickly you can gain financial freedom. If you attach earning money only to a job, you will never, ever see, feel, or understand prosperity. You will always operate in lack and not enough. Having a job is only one way to earn and create money in your life. Wages will pay your bills, but only profits will make you rich. So he gets a wage being a welder. That house he's working on is nothing but profits. They don't want profits. They don't see themselves as people that have profits because she sees it as a hassle. It's like, yeah. Like I said, as I'm talking to her, where she said the dumbest thing I'd ever heard, looked right in my face and said, I don't want to be a landlord having to deal with people. And she said that with such it was so weird to me because it'd be like, I asked you, hey, what do you do for a living? And he goes, I'm a welder. And I go, I wouldn't want to be a welder. Like, who says that? But for some reason, she felt it was cool to shit on being a landlord. Hey, I'm a landlord. I'm standing right in front of you. I just told you I was. And her response was, was to not only reject prosperity. She knows what the fuck happens when you own a bunch of property. She knows what's up. She's not stupid, or they wouldn't have been able to pull the deal off they just did. She knew she just got an amazing deal. They understand the value. What was she scared of? The responsibility. I got to talk to people. Yeah, all people have your money. This stock has my money, and I get to pick how much. So I want to buy that shit when it bottoms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Starts to put in a stage 1. And if I can find that as a repeatable pattern. This indicator here is called RSI. It tracks 14 days. Remember, money flow is a fractal pattern. You're going to have to believe that. None of this works if you don't believe in the fractal pattern of the markets. You've got to also believe the markets move in 5 to 7 year cycles. I don't care what side of the cycle we're on. All that determines is what I'm targeting. Meaning I'm not trying to avoid the cycle. I'm trying to exploit the cycle. I'm not trying to avoid the cycle. I'm trying to exploit the cycle. The way I exploit the cycle is by knowing what I own, being diversified, allocating money to the right buckets, not having debt, being on point, and being on purpose. These guys that are 37 and they got 30K in retirement, if you go out and you divide the number of days you've been alive by how much you have invested, in fact, look at the number of how much that is a day. Now, time started for you when you came out of the womb. The fact that your mama didn't jump you on it, that's between you and your mama and your family, which is why you got to break your family tree, man. I mean, it's your mom's fault that the first, I'm going to go to about age, since the youngest kid I've ever talked with and counseled was 13 years old. I had a 13-year-old pay to have a one-on-one with me. I almost gave it to him free, and then I said, fuck that. He needs to earn it, man. Yeah, what's up, bro? And we talked. And he wanted to know, is it possible that I could be a millionaire by 20? That's what he wanted to know. A kid booked a call with me. And he told me in the notes he was 13. I replied back, does your dad know you're calling me? And he said, yeah, he's cool. I asked him, what's your dad's email? He replied back with it. And he wanted to ask me, could he go from 13 years old to 20 and be a millionaire? Man, I don't even have 26-year-olds do this conversation. I do, but it's small number. Small number. Most people are afraid of what I tell them. I'm going to tell you to change what you focus on and what you're reading and what you're doing and what you're spending money on. Like, we got to change up some things. And I never share people's names or what we talked about, but I will time to time use your story, use bits and pieces anyway to allocate, because everyone's story is the same. Everyone was 13. This 13-year-old wants to get rich. There are parents and people who would stifle this. Warren Buffett was 12 years old when he bought his first stock. And by the time he's like 13, 14, they said he had read every book. Now, not everyone's as Warren Buffett, but when a 13-year-old pays $100 to talk to you for an hour, he might be pretty damn close. I mean, some of you would be afraid to do that. You'd be like, oh man, he's gonna know what's up with me. He knows I'm bullshitting. I'm gonna know within like a couple minutes of talking to you. Now, the reason I advocate such an aggressive stance in a 7-year period, I think everyone should be a financial entrepreneur. I don't care if you're a painter, you work at Home Depot, or you're in the ghetto. The poorer you are, the more you should be about this. Because there is no other fucking option, guys. Nobody's coming to save you. There's no magic bean. You have time times amount times you. And the amount of money you'll have in 7 years, we can fucking map it out mathematically. We can sit down with a pencil and paper and I'll tell you exactly how much within pretty close. And then we could implement, okay, what can we do here, here, and here? What could we change? What 2 things could we change? 2 things we could add that would switch our situation. So first thing I tell this 13-year-old is, under no circumstances do you take on debt unless you can honestly look me in the face and explain to me how it's going to make you 5x. Meaning, there are people who borrow. I am not an advocate of borrowing to start businesses and things like that, but there are many millionaires that borrow money who did. They bet it on themselves. As a general rule, I don't think you should unless you can explain how you're going to 5x. I mean, as a 13-year-old take a loan on a lawnmower? Yeah, if he can explain to me how he gets the lawnmower to everywhere and how he 5x that money, that's simple math. Now, what I got to ask him though is what's the marketing plan? So we could sit down and come up with that. Okay, so here's the goal. Here's where the income comes. We need another stream. I told him you need 2 income streams, man. You got to do 3 things. 1, go to school. You got to do that shit. It's what you do after school is what's going to give a 13-year-old a chance to get rich. Not what you do at school, by the way. They're not going to teach him jack shit that's going to get him rich. I mean, they're going to teach him how to read and how to write. He probably knows that well enough now, right? Maybe they stumble onto some skills, but to be honest, it's going to be the shit he pursues. If he gets into coding, it's because he started coding. If he gets into this, it's because he got into that, or she. It's what they put their mind on. So if this kid, I said, listen, I know maybe you don't want to be a business owner, but you got to make money. That's it. You're 13. You got to go to school, after school. Matter of fact, if we could figure out how to make money at school, we do that too. And then we got to take that money and we got to get it into assets. He can't buy a house. That's off the table. So old dad's got to open an UTMA account for you. Uniform Miners account. And then old dad needs to let you do it since you're the one with the interest. And then I said, now you got to go and get my thing and you want to study on this. It doesn't have to stay with me, but you need to start studying. If you stay with me, you're going to be all right, and I think kid probably kill it, right? So what is our goal? Is our goal trading? He didn't say he wanted to be a trader, but he's got to accumulate money, right? So trading options could be the way. Maybe the kid can do that. If that was an interest, if he couldn't help but do it, if he'd get up and do it for free, then yeah, do that, man. But if your goal to do that is just to make money, I don't think you're going to make it. No more than your goal. If your goal is to play football just so you can get paid, I don't think you get there. I mean, I don't think you make big money unless you do it free. Nobody who gets paid as a speaker got paid right off the bat. Maybe if they were like someone famous or built a massive business. But you know what I'm saying? Everyone starts at some location. And chances are, unless it's the love of the flip, I haven't met many people that pull that off. It's something they're addicted to that they like doing. So I do the stock. If you took all my money tomorrow, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to do the stock market. I'm going to start putting money in the dogs of the Dow, build that base. I'm going to utilize that to start finding some trades that I could take. What's my main thing? I need to create a second thing, maybe a third thing, symbiotic relationships to generate money so that I can put it into the money flow. You're not going to get rich trading, putting in $5,000 in trading. Okay. Let me break that to you. That's not how it works. Anybody that trades legit money and makes a lot of money has put a lot of money into their trading. I mean, it's not a one-time thing. You're going to trade it back. No, you're going to put fucking money in it. And it's going to take time. 5, 6, 7 years of you putting money in this thing to pull it off. One, that's going to be what? Investing in you. So there's only 3 things you can invest in. Yourself is one. Dental care, hygiene, equipment, computers, stock charts. Oh, you guys with free charts. It's fucking embarrassing. Like, you need to pay for that, man. You don't give a shit about it. You can't pay for Netflix and not pay for charts and then tell me how you want to kill it in the stock market. Stop. So that's the kind of shit we do when we're coaching, man. That's why a lot of people don't want to have that coaching call, because they're bullshitting. So when you meet me and we start talking, I can tell within minutes if you're bullshitting or not. All you got to do is answer the questions honestly as I ask them. You don't know what they are either. And the moment you start, yeah, we found the problem. So, but if we can turn that and take your problems and make your problem, your chaos, turn that shit into cash, man. Put that fixation on something else. So as we look at that, and I know the way the money flow moves is wherever price has been before, it stops again. These become targets, man. So as a trader, when I get breakouts, right, I can look and I can say, bam, it's hit here before, twice. What does that mean? That's usually where it stops, man. And then look, it hit it. What else happened? RSI went extreme. Well, what happened last time the RSI went extreme? It what? Started going sideways. What happened here? It stopped, right? Turned up. So what am I expecting here? money flow pattern, right? So our sideways was a big bounce, but it really, we're diagramming it like this. And then what? It's going to go sideways, and then what? Come down. So this RSI is our first signal. The price has gone too far, too fast. Money's just a social agreement. We're agreeing right now. It's gone too far, too fast. Over the last 14 days. So what this measures is price velocity over a 14-day period. And when it hits extreme zones, 30 or 70, that's our signal. Hey, there's 5 other things to look for. We got one, boom. But we also got another at the same time, which was what? Price banged the previous high. So you got 2 sell signals. And when I mean sell, I don't mean sell all your position at the same time. So Monday, and I didn't do it into the close on Friday. Probably need to take this down. We're in a trade with the UTSL. So I want to look to downsize it. Why? It's a flip, man. We're flipping it. It went from one extreme low to extreme high. Now, we got a little time, so you can finesse it. Same here, right? Ran up, and then it gave us some time. It's going to give us time. This is where it gets tricky. When it goes to sell off, and that's the sell-off right there, which is, if you're looking at the pattern, is this. So if you have the money flow book, go look about the 20-day moving average. We look about support and resistance, building out the box. When it starts to roll over, again, that's a signal. So as a trader, if the goal is to flip money, get in, I would got in, take some down, I need to get out. Now, what if this stops and then rips again? Maybe that's not your business. You did your trade. So you have to be careful of constantly coming back. Don't put your confidence in what a stock does. You don't know what the fuck a stock is going to do. You never do. So my confidence isn't whether I got something right, it went up. People think that. And it's like, dude, shut up, man. That's not what my confidence is. My confidence is I'm going to get up and do it tomorrow. Irregardless. That's where my confidence is. So if your confidence is in you getting it right or wrong, you're not going to be here long, okay? Because that's going to drive you fucking crazy and you're going to be out. What keeps me here is I know I don't know where it's going. But I know when things have gone too low. I know when things appear to have gone too high. I know how to value things so I can make logical decisions. And over time, through the repetitiveness of activity, I can develop skill, right? I can be like, okay, this is not really a trading market. Let's focus right now on building out our buy and holds. Maybe we stop trading right now. Or maybe we take trades around our buy and holds. You're like, what do you mean? Like, maybe you get the itch to trade. Well, don't do it with your buy and hold, man. Rarely trim on those. The goal of those is to own them, compound them, and let it grow. But we can also be wise stewards. And when we see one of our stocks banging it out, and let's say we see a much better opportunity, and because of maybe we added a bunch here and here, and now we've rose enough that, man, I'm up like 30, 40% in this. You could trim 5 shares. And add it to, say, I don't know, let's say you're doing Hanes brands, right? And you go value, this stock is way undervalued, the dividend's higher than SO, and you're trying to build a position. So as long as it's in a stage 1, whoa, right? As long as it's in a stage 1, which is what? We have a bottom. We have 4 days holding it, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And now we can see a box. Now you could take this one way the fuck up here. This is the problem, we're having these wide swings on this. And yeah, another guy would say we're seeing a down channel. Exactly. Right? And then what? We saw a little one over here. Not that long, right? And then what? Went sideways over here. Now, that's going to take you time to see that. You might see it confused. Takes a minute. And there what? There's our anchor point, right? So as I'm playing this stock, my goal is not to get out of the stock. My goal is to add when it's on sale. I nibbled, right? What? Probably nibbling. Does it again. Probably nibbling. We're doing it again. Nibbling. So I'm doing it in order. It's chaos. Out of order. This is chaos, man. This is chaos. Well, if I want to add toys to my portfolio, if I'm thinking, yeah, man, I need to get in on that. Nice little dividend. It's undervalued by 20%. It's not all my money. I'm dripping it. Well, this is 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So you have 4 months, man. You buy a little, buy one, and over these months, you're probably buying other things, right? What else would have been on that? We got Ford on that list. When do we want to buy Ford, man? Now, to do this, though, you got to put in money. You can own a business. You can invest in other people's businesses, the stock market, or you can buy real estate. Now, what I've done, I'm a pretty simple guy. I buy real estate. I take my renter's money and put it in the stock market. Virtually, I don't want to say all, most of the cash flow I've made in the last 17 years has been deposited into the stock market. Not all of it, but a lot of it. I've had years where I've been able really, really strong on that. And so as I deposit money, it's not my money. They pay me rent. I own the house, and I just take their money. I pay taxes, mortgage, insurance. I got this big chunk. I don't need it. So I talk about in the ebook. I don't need it. This ain't my job. This shit I own. I got a job doing something else. Now I don't need that 4 or 5 grand, and then I go dump it. That's the power of one fucking house. And if one house can make you $1 million in 30 years, and every time someone disagrees with that math, I'm like, this guy does not understand the millionaire code, bro. Like, you are so far behind on how money works. Man, I'm one property. It makes $1 million. So when you think, man, I hope, what about the price? It's like, whatever, man. You could get it wrong, and in 30 years, you're still up 800, right? That's not, in other words, you're going to get on the bus when you get on the bus. So if you're trading this stock, and over here is day one, you're like, okay, brand new to the money flow. OG says Ford is a stage 1 buy. Shit, he's buying. He says it's undervalued. And there's his anchor point. It holds it. Now he's buying right here, right? That's a stage 1 buy, right? Stage 1. And we're playing that this was the down move, right? What's happening? I'm waiting for the money flow to form and take off, man. Okay? Oh, it starts to. Why? Because it always starts to. Right there. What I don't know, let me let you in on it. I don't know how far the stage 2 is going to go. I have no fucking idea how far down the stage 4 decline goes. I have no illusion of knowing where price goes. I'm cool with that. I don't know. It's a social agreement. Right out of my new ebook. It's a social agreement. One day your house is 420. One day your house is 375. I still want houses. So that's how it works, man. And so I know they go up and down, up and down. And there's shit that makes that happen. Interest rates, supply chain problems, the cost of coffee could affect Starbucks, the cost of labor could affect AT&T, and we go through these fucking cycles of chaos. What the money flow does is says, I don't even have to know what that is. I really don't. I do, but I don't have to. You go, what do you mean? Man, I'm just buying some stage 1s, man. Oh, wait, stage 4 decline. Look at that. What am I doing? I'm up here looking at the RSI. Come on, baby, get in the extreme. Oh, we got another 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we got another one. And you know what? After all this chaos, look how close it actually is. It's not that far off, man. And then what? We get another one. And then what? Breakout, baby. Wait, I'm a trader. I jump over to my trading account and I go, holy shit. Ford just did a stage 2 breakout right here. Man, let me get some call options. People say to me all the time, does this help with calls? You obviously don't understand trading. You need to start over again based on your stupid question. Because if you understood trading, you would understand with a price pattern happening, could it help you? Now, there's a lot more variables to that, okay? There's the pricing of the option, the expiration date. There's all kinds of stuff that I find horrifically boring and really not that fun. So I don't spend a lot of time on that, okay? Don't have any interest in it, man. I'm a stock trader. I like trading shares because I can't blow out, man. I never blow out. I've been through bear markets, crashes, and I'm still here. And I have shit ton more money. And it just keeps going up. I know this works. Straight line. So for me, my goal now is I need a solid mill in the next pullback in my dividend stocks. When the pullback happens on the next, I want $1 million. Meaning after it falls 10, 20%, I got $1 million. I want that to be a base that never gets broke anymore. So I got to get some money in this game when it pulls back. But this sets up as a trade right here. Boom. Where's your first target? You're short-term trading it right here. Bam. What happened? Take your shit off. It's a trade. You own this and you're buy and hold. You got all that in and out shit out of your system in the trading account. In order to do that, you got to get your shit together. You need a trading account and you need a buy and hold account. And you need to wear different hats when you're in the account and stop mixing them. Most of you are in fucking chaos right now. And the truth is, if we sat down and looked at open up your computer, let me see it. Let me see it. What I'm going to see is chaos. That's why people don't want to do a call. We can show you how to be a man. Dude, I'm doing a party at my house. This kind of stuff we talk about. How does a guy go in 7 years and become a millionaire? That ain't going to do you a bit of fucking good if you're not committed to that. If you're not an entrepreneurial investor, meaning if you're trying to do the 5% in the VU, I'm putting 10% in my retirement. Okay, you're not doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to get to $1 million in 7 years, man. You're trying to, I don't know what you're doing. Right? Because if I get halfway there in 5, my life has changed. If I get a third of the way there in 5, say I fuck it up, I only get to a quarter, your life is way better off than these guys that I'm seeing. I'm going to show you what Vanguard says people have saved. And it's nothing. It's nothing. They're fucked. It is no money, man. Nothing. So they better very quickly become entrepreneurial investors. And that doesn't mean you could be even taking risk. This is not investing. This is trading. Okay. But this is how investing can make you a good trader. So you're not trading something you don't know. It's Ford. You look at it every day. You could take this trade with confidence, man. After a while, you kind of know the factors that affect the company. Maybe you know about the CEO, how much the dividend is. Like, you know this. What if you're trading shit you know? Isn't that better than trading a penny stock you don't know what it is? I mean, really? Like, think on this. You know this. You might have it at your house. Boom. And there's the money flow. Price went sideways. Stage 1. Broke out above the 20. There's our first target. Right at the same time the RSI. Means I'd take more off. Means the move's probably going to stutter here. And what do we expect to see? It's going to go sideways. And then what? It's going to pull back. And so I can own this every day in my buy and hold. I'm only adding on stage 1s. And in my trading account, I'm waiting for the breakup setup. My God, man. I just dumped it on you. Imagine you did that for 7 years. And then you put money in your account. Man, what happens, man? What happens? You sit down with me and we like, man. Had a guy the other day. He's got $40K in checking. All right. How much debt you got? He says, nah, don't bullshit me, man. How much you got on a credit card? He says, nothing, man, like $800. I pay it off at the end of the month. Cool. All right. How much you got in a brokerage account? Tells me. All right, cool. Be honest. How many hours a week do you work? Like, these things are super important. You got to be honest. All right. And how much time at the gym? Gym's fine. But it can't be no 2 fucking hours. That's ridiculous. Unless you're a bodybuilder. So we start going down the list. Now, he's got to execute, man, like a general. He's at war. And I say, where do you live? I got 3 roommates. What's your credit score? Now, you can't go, you need to know. So if a guy comes to me, you need to know these things or I can't help you. And he goes, it's 800. I'm like, you got 40K. Where do you live? That tells us what we can do too. If he lives in fucking Ireland and every house is $1 million and the government comes down on land, well, then that's not what we're doing. That don't mean we can't get rich. It means we eliminated one thing to pursue in our getting rich, right? And as we begin to come through this, I'm like, what do you do for a living? He says, insurance. What's your 3 favorite insurance stocks? Silence. Did I stump you? Meaning he has natural skill sets, man. Talking to a guy the other day, he's a carpenter. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I build cabinets. I mean, you're around all this shit. 3M, DuPont, right? Home Depot. Like, follow those, man. Start where you pick up the easy money right around you. Shit you know, right? If you're, I got friends that are cops. I got friends that are artists. I got friends that don't, like, dude, you're using this stuff. The money flows all around you. When riots kick off on the news, you already know it's up. We got to suit up, got to do all, like, that shit goes boom, takes off, man. You know, around tax time, people are going to, like, we did a big trade in H&R Block because, man, everybody's taxes was fucked up because Trump came in and All of a sudden, they're changing the tax law to the good, and there's all this COVID crap, and you're like, damn. Putting it all together, man, a lot of people are going to need tax help. H&R Block's on a stage one after a big sell-off. It's January, and we got April's tax time, and I know a lot of people are going to need help. What is that? That's the money flow speaking to you. That's speaking to you. That makes sense, right? That's speaking to you, man. Well, you got to be tapped into that kind of stuff, man. All around you stuff, man. All around you. Sometimes it's just in your portfolio. I mean, is everyone surprised about Amazon? I mean, look at Amazon. So when we see this here, we don't even think about it till what? Till that shows up, right? And then what? We need an anchor point. Is it here? Nope. Is it over here? Nope. We go, what do you mean? We need a low, and it needs to hold for 4 days, right? So we just keep walking this down. You can't hit bottoms, Gerald. Okay. You can't. And then it goes up. Where's your buy signal? Right around in there. Right around there. Now, I don't even have all the other indicators that would have told us, meaning if we add the Macd histogram, right? Let's add that. Now, what am I looking for on the histogram? This is, the Macd is those crossing lines. Stands for moving average convergence divergence. It's a series of 3 moving averages. As they move and diverge and converge, you get buy and sell signals. The histograms were created by a trader who was using was using the Macd in their trading, and they didn't want to just use the lines. He wanted to visually see it because he believed he could use the Macd to start to spot bottoms. And what would happen is the Macd itself, meaning that there, would bottom. It's not perfect. And then he would wait for the tick this way. Well, if you combine that tick, if we took a line and we say, okay, it happened right there, that day there, and we run that up, oh my God. So look, they aligned. And if we come down, now we add the anchor point. Is that the bottom? No. Is that the bottom? As of today, no. 4 days later, 1, 2, 3, 4, yes. So now the RSI aligned, the down move aligned, price aligned, the Macd histogram aligned. Now, one more thing, and I'm going to wrap with this. I went fast on this shit at the end. I try to present the money flow. It takes me 12 hours to do the whole thing if I just start and don't stop. It's an exponential. I'm going to make it red. And I'm going to make it dotted. This is called the trigger if you have my book, The Money Flow. If for 7 years you have a lot of money you don't need, you don't even need a lot, and you're adding it to these things, what happens is, let me move this for a second. On that thing, I've got 3 accounts. Let me see. Give me just a second here. E-Trade messed up my account the other day. When I logged in, I had $8 million. Jesus. I went and hit the dividends. It was it was crazy. Okay. Oh, man. Hold on. All right. So in this one, I have 3 accounts. It says the dividends are $19,835. That's 3 accounts, okay? 3 different accounts. They're for different things. One, I could get the money out, okay? There's about $50K that I could technically pull out, but I have it set aside as dividend, part of my dividend portfolio. It's structured that way on purpose. As I grow older and if I need to access money, I'm going to start with that account, okay? I don't get taxed to pull it out. I mean, I do get taxed on the dividends. Okay. I shouldn't say I don't get taxed to pull it out. I'm not forced to. Okay. The total on these, though, is $19,835. Now, I have another account that's about $5,000 and some change. So total, it's almost $26,000. Now, I'm pushing to get that to $30,000 by the end of the year. I don't think it's possible based on the numbers, but I've figured out if I do $100 a day every day, I could get this total, this plus the other account that's $5,000, to $30,000. That's a big push. That's just a period of time, meaning that's not going to be the rest of my life. I want to get this to $30K so that the dividends coming every month are like $2,800 a month instead of $2,000 a month. And then I can turn my focus to other things, and then I can just add to the account as I see opportunities that are worth, throwing 100 here, 200 there, 300 there, following the money flow. But for a period of time, I'm pretty focused on banging this. Now, I could do it faster, but I'm also trying to buy a condo. Why? Because I'm trying to build out an Airbnb portfolio, which is new for me. That's a new venture. Entrepreneurial investing. Yes, there's risk. Duh. It's called being an entrepreneur. If you're not an entrepreneur, you're going to have entrepreneurship is what generates profits. Investing aggressively in a stock is an entrepreneur activity, which means you need to see it that way, which means you need to develop the skill sets of an entrepreneur. You have to move from the girl that looked at me with the dumbest look I've ever seen and said, I would not want to be a landlord. And I just looked at her husband, looked back at her, and I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. I can't even imagine a girl I'm with saying some dumb shit like that, dude. Like, it's so far from my mind that, so see the 5-day here? Price is above the 5-day moving average. That's a trigger. What else is a trigger? Doesn't even matter what it is, but it's AT&T. RSI went extreme. That's our first signal. That was right here. Is that the lowest day? Nope. Next day came down. What about next day? Well, now we only got 2 bars. Right? What happened next day? 3. About this point, you can start to say this is a box right here. Check. Now, let's lay this vertical line over and then go down and check the Macd. Take it to the first day where it ticks up. And now we go up. Let's save this. So you're like, what do you think about adding AT&T here? Yeah. Check. Right? Check. Check. Now, what's my signal that this bottom is probably in? The 4 days, but what I'd really like to see is that price, the average price of the last is higher than the average price of the last 5 days. What we have is the beginning of a bottom. See it forming. And it happened to stop here before, 2 other times. See it? So we know price is sticky here. Does that mean we're done going down? Let me throw a little twist in here before I get off, a little homework. And by the way, Money Folk Gang, you have a homework. Don't give me no bullshit. Oh, I've been working all hard. I can't look at things. Don't do that to yourself. You're getting adult millionaire homework. You're an adult and you got homework. You need that. You need someone to challenge you on that, man. You need someone to challenge you on that. Don't resist that. I already got people like, oh, don't do that, man. Don't do that. I got a buddy, owns 23 houses, man. 24. He's coming to my event at my house August 13th. I got guys out there following me. They ain't got no properties. They're not coming. This guy's got 23. Why? So he can talk to me. Let's whiteboard his situation. I mean, I'm going to put on the board all 23 properties. How much is in checking? How much are you collecting in cash flow? Where can we allocate that? Give me your 3 sources of income. By the way, he has 3. One is like a job, but it's sales. The other 2 are side hustles. Then he owns the 23 properties, and he's doing some outsourced contracting at times. So how do we double his net worth? How do we go from 4 to 5 million to 10 doing what he's doing now? What does that look like? How much of that money coming in's got to go back in? How much is his portfolio generating in passive income? So I can go look, my stocks are 4.7%. It's pretty high. That's the cash flow. The real estate on the 17 properties, I can give you a number. We can sit down and look at what is his portfolio appreciating. We can whiteboard this. And there's a kid with no properties. Oh, man, he should be sitting there, shut the fuck up and just stare at it and just look. And what I'm showing him is how to get rich as a blue collar person. I mean, there's no permission. Nobody asks you. And all you got to do is just watch it, man. That's it. Man. It took me years to figure out the shit me and him will talk about. And a guy could sit there and get it in 5 minutes. It's crazy, man. Now, do you have the mindset to implement it? Can you structure your life? That's where the other shit comes in. But just the idea that someone shares the concept with you. And there's people too busy. Or there's people that'll look at you and go, I don't want to be. Like say something so stupid. So that's fine. Good. Don't be. That makes it easier for me. So we got the bottom. There's our stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So if I want to invest in AT&T, I don't know if this is the bottom. That's a bottom. I'm a nibble. Now watch this though. Alert. I'm not swing trading this. Look at this. Look how far apart those moving averages are. So I got a whole thing on this. You will not get a sustained move. Rarely. I don't want to say never. It happens. They can be aggressive. You rarely get a sustained move when the moving averages are this broken. Okay? And let me give you a clear example before I go. Man, I wish I could sit down with you and do your numbers and you weren't bullshitting and you were ready to do something, man. Most people, they're bullshitting though, man. I can tell when we start breaking it down. Let me see your checking account. Don't be scared. I'll see the porno charges. Let me see it. I thought you were trying to get rich. Everything got to come out in the open, man. You got to be honest with yourself. How do we get Steven rich? How do we do that? There's a lot more to it than just stocks, man. Right? A lot more to it. I love doing those things, though, man. It's fun. Especially when the guy's richer than me. I like breaking down other people's shit. So, yeah, man. I got dudes that are way richer than me. Call me like once a month. Let's whiteboard this. Like I'm doing it on my board. They're talking. It amazes me that a guy that's rich will do that. And people that aren't don't. And you got to start to think, man, there's something to that. Look at these breakouts. So this is Netflix. Big fall. It started a little stage 1. But notice how far away these moving averages are. I don't have a name for this. You just need to be aware of often this is not the bottom. These moving averages need to do what Macd calls moving average convergence divergence. They need to converge, from the divergence. They need to come together. And often, this is very common, when something's this big, it takes a minute, dude, to repair that before it can start to move again. Doesn't mean, could it? Boom, boom, bang, bang? Yeah. So when I go in on this, I know that. So these are light nibbles. Look at how far apart these moving averages are. I don't even trust this shit. Now this one here, I like this. And notice, it wasn't that far away. But guess what it was? Almost a full month. Meaning from here to here is a full month. So if I would have waited the month or just nibbled a little and left some powder, I might could have allocated that money to other things during that month that all of a sudden, did the do. ERX. So if you're on my email list on Sunday nights, not every Sunday, sometimes some Sundays I just don't feel like I don't see shit, I'm not sure. But if I tell you I see something or I'm watching something, that means it's of importance. Okay? And you're a trader, take note. And what I noticed on oil last week was we'd had a big move, got an RSI, came down, tagged another, right around in there. But what? What I just told you, look how far apart these moving averages are. Notice I didn't get long oil. It's just not worth the risk of the setup. This is a triple leverage fund or double leverage. So yeah, it kind of popped here and there was kind of support there, but I know I have time. And you go, what do you mean? Look, it ain't going nowhere until the convergence, until these things merge, man. And that's not merged, okay? Could it run? Yeah, but I'm greedy. So I let that shit come on in. And on that day right there, on that day, that was a Thursday, we got a big sell-off, but price came back up right to the bottom of the box. And I'm like, oh shit. Send the email. And the next day, we open here, back in the box. There's our extreme. We got a completed downtrend move. Our moving averages have come together, and price is back in the box. Check, 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 check. All 6. I didn't even get to the TSI. What am I waiting for? All weakness from here forth is purchased. So if you're in the money flow gang, you got a text message. I just bought a little bit. And then the next day it opens and it looks like he's coming down. I bought a little bit. This is my signal, and here is my stop loss. This is purely a trade. I own almost $100,000 in buy and hold oil stocks. I'm not buying and holding this. I'm trading this. I want to flip it, make some money. So what am I watching? 70 RSI, previous high. And we talked about it's probably going to be in this zone right here because we got a top, a top, a top. I don't know if you see that, okay? You got to look close. I'm not the only guy that does that. Institutional traders, funds, when this gets up here, if it does, I don't know if it will, but if it does, believe me, you're looking for a top. Why? Same thing that happened here, right? You're looking for the top. Same thing that happened here. You're looking for the top. Doesn't mean the top forever. It means the top as a trader, okay? And if you're an investor, it's putting you on alert. So as a buy and hold investor in Exxon, all this is fucking alert. What am I looking for? Here. So I didn't add any. I got too much. I got a shit ton. I've been doing it for 17 years. But if you're 23, this is when you buy Exxon. And you're like, well, what if it comes down and does it again? You buy the next one. And you do that for 7 to 10 years across 20, 30 assets. And you go, but Gerald, you have 77. I've been doing it 21 years. So there's plenty of stocks I'm just not selling or adding. I have as much Pepsi as I'm going to have. I'm going to take it to my grave. They're just going to keep dripping me money. And I have it set to buy more shares. So Pepsi gives me Pepsi shares, not me. My focus is on other assets, other companies. I want to diversify into more shit. Why? So that when I go into those old years, oh, Jesus can be sitting at a computer going, hey, can you hand me my glasses? And I'm looking for RSIs, and I'm researching stocks, and I'm trimming from the over one because it's millions of fucking dollars. And all the other old people are like, oh, we're going to go to Denny's when it's super cheap. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to one of my 4 houses. Maybe let's go to cake. Hey, you know what? Let's go trade from the beach. Everybody likes that. But you're not doing it at 22 like a dipshit. You're doing it at 50 when you should be doing it because you put all your money into assets and trading accounts and you're not pulling it out and spending it on dumb shit. And nothing makes me madder when I see that young dudes bawling out. It's like, dude, you're so stupid. If you knew what I knew, you'd realize how dumb you are. Because you could be a billionaire instead of buying that shit, man. I know. That's I know. Everybody likes the $500 socks. New here. Does anybody know the 2 smaller moving averages he's using? Damn, X. You better go get my book, son. You done rolled up in a class. God sent you here, man. He was trying to save your life. You were praying yesterday. Man, I wish somebody would come into my life that could change my life. And then there you go. You showed up here, and here I am. Now it's up to you what you do with it. He'll probably be like, well, I'm going to go to AutoZone and spend $50 on getting shit to clean my car and not buy the book. So this is our target zone. If you're in it, keep an eye on it. Obviously, this is a bailout on the trade. So if it happens over here, we're going to bail out on the trade, right? Right? We're going to take our lumps and go. Part of trading. In our buy and hold, we know, oh shit, ready to look. Man, we didn't even get into the 200. I need like 12 hours to show you what I'm doing, homie. I need like 12 hours. We don't have 12 hours, so appreciate you attending Sunday service, man. It's bigger than just stocks, by the way. It really is. Start at the beginning, man. Your trading will become good when you're good. Make sure, that's your mantra tonight. Get your shit together. You got 2 things you need to stop, man. If you got my new ebook, you were supposed to, on page 14 people, or 3 people that came into your life. 2 things you probably should stop doing. 2 new ideas you probably should start doing. I didn't say you had to do them. You just write it down. I need to stop eating cupcakes. Let's be real. Doesn't mean you're stopping. You're just acknowledging it. That's the first thing. Man, I drink way too much. We need to put that on there. Shit, a new idea. I need to find blah, blah, blah. I need to move on that project I was talking about, even though I don't want to. I ain't got to get it right. I just got to get it going, right? And that's all you're doing. This is a living document, man. And oh, by the way, somebody had helped me. My AC went out. So my man came through, putting in a second unit for me. I'm blessed I can pay for it. It hurts, but I'm blessed. And he helped me out, man. It was hot as fuck. So there you go. Someone came through, right? It doesn't have to be somebody came through and, did some magical thing for you. Just somebody came through and helped you, man. Simple as that, man. God bless. Hey, last time I looked, I got 1 ticket left for the party at my house on August 13th. That'd be cool to talk to you, man. I don't know who you are, man. People watch me and they know who I am. They see my troubles, listen to my podcasts, see all my books, my work. I'm exposed. They meet me, man, I feel like I know you. And I'm like, I have no idea who you are. So the only way I get to know, man, is if I see you sometime. So one day, take some time out of your life. Come see me. Let's talk about how you get rich. That's what we need to do. I keep buying for long term, but locking in profits. I keep working because stocks fall back again. It keeps me from thinking long term. Real gains to me equal mortgage payments. Okay. I think I know what you're saying. That's it, guys. Be good.